4 leagues down, 1 remains, and it is the top of the totem pole here. I was trying to think of how I wanted to say that, Fallen. Top of the totem pole, though, here, the Premier League draft for MLE. Chaser and Fallen on the call. Fallen, how are you doing this evening?
I didn't get picked up.
Me either.
There was a whole prediction, and I didn't get picked up. Someone made 20-odd grand off of me not getting picked up.
That's pretty, I mean, good for them, but...
It's hurtful.
Yeah. I'm with you. I didn't get picked up either.
You know what, it's fine. We got 30 more people that are going to get the luxury of being picked up.
Exactly.
I'm not mad.
No.
Smile. Anyways, yeah, we've got Premier League. There's a lot going on with Premier League. It's one of the more competitive leagues in that you probably have a good idea of who's going in one of these drafts, especially from the first 25 picks. And it's just about figuring out what order they're going to be in, who's going where, who's going with who. We do have the draft board ready to go, so that will be a lot of fun to figure out, are these players going to go in the order that everyone expects, or are we going to get some surprises and some new team pairings?
If I can just, come up with anything, I would say anything is possible here in MLE. So I would imagine we're going to have some unpredictability here in Premier League. But guess what, Fallen?
Huh?
The first pick, it's in.
Oh, God. I'm not ready.
Pick number 1 of the Premier League draft. And it's going to be Talo going to the Hive.
Well, this just feels weird. Talo, formerly the franchise manager of the Tyrants, a non-playing for Lord knows how many seasons. And the one time he did, he only played 5 games. He played 1 series, and that was with the Puffins. Is now the first overall Premier League draft pick. Boys, come on.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, too.
That was a long time ago.
Talos had general manager of the Bulls.
Yes.
An off-season. Franchise manager. No, sorry, 2 seasons with the Bulls, rather.
Yeah.
Then an off-season. Then
franchise manager.
Franchise manager for the Tyrants last season.
Yeah.
And now finally is playing again here with the Hive.
They're a solid player, especially when they're getting 7 MVPR in the last 60 days of scrims for 2s, But
absolutely.
They're not the only player that gets picked up, because the demo are up next.
Pick number 2, it's going to be Just Tuck going to the demo.
Okay, this one I understand going this high. This is a veteran of the league, 5 seasons under their belt, the 78th overall for 2s games played in the entirety of MLE's history, has the 50th most goals in 2s at 272 over 145 games. That's nearly 2 a game on average across nearly over a century and a half of games. This is a veteran. Going pick 2? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes a ton of sense. Next pick is in. Pick number 3 for the Flames. And it is going to be Jaken.
Ooh, a new name on the board. First time we've seen this player in the league this season and going to a team that are famous for having good teams that have the capability of pushing on, even if they always don't necessarily find the footing. So there's a good opportunity for Jaken to sort of show their potential, looking very strong in 3 scrims, and that seems to be their preferred mode. So look to see them start to light up the scene, especially with that 20 salary.
And then pick number 4. The Spartans are selecting Knuckle.
Ooh, Knuckle. I know this name all too well. A very, very big pick. Formerly on the Bears, I believe 2 seasons ago was on the Bears, and played a couple of games in that season. Fairly competitive, and by fairly I mean won most of them, because that's sort of what happens. It's a very active scrimmer as well, though. Over 200 games played total in the last 60 days of scrims. That's more than I think PL played all of the off-season. So, good job.
Good on Knuckle. Next pick is in. Number 5 for the Rhinos is Pandy.
Here's a good name for the list. Another Big Threes player. 1 season under their belt. That was last season. Came in as a substitute for a 2 series, but then played at 2 twice in 3s and won those series pretty comprehensively. So Bandy is a very strong pick for the Rhinos, a very good first round pick. There's going to be a lot of camaraderie that they're going to be looking to try and bring together with their team. And as a centerpiece, it's a good start.
Very good start indeed. Pick number 6 is in for the Shadow. It's Prosperity 2K.
Ooh, another veteran of the league. And by veteran, I mean the player with the most saves in twos of all time in the league. Like, we were talking about top 50 for goals. This person's third in goals for twos. 404 goals, 472 saves in their career. They have played nearly a quarter of a millennia games in twos in their time. One more series will push them over the edge. That is the perfect first round pick.
And going to the Shadow is a perfect spot for them. Next up, pick number 7 for the Blizzard. It's Nit.
Oh, and Nit's a big name to be going this early, and going to the team with J-Hex running, it feels like a couple of friends at this point. We're all sort of hanging around the same places. We're all talking to each other. Formerly franchise manager of the Ducks as well. Came back to be playing and went free agent. And, they back up their stats. They're a 20 salary with a good reason for it. It'll be interesting to see if they can hit the ground running this season with, the way PL's been absolutely shuffled around. There's a distinct possibility this could be a championship contender.
Yeah, with 65 games played and 150 goals, averaging 2.3 goals per game. That is incredible in doubles. But enough about Nit. Let's go on to the next pick. Pick number 8, the Hurricanes. They are selecting Lefty,
who happens to play with his right hand. This is a very strong player. I don't know. That's just a fact that came up off the top of my head. He will correct me, or they will correct me in chat, so thank you very much. If that is completely false, played only 3s last season in their second season in the league, and did a pretty good job as well, going 9 for 10 in their 3s games, so a 5-0-4-1 series record. They seem to win a lot, especially in the last few seasons when they've had a chance to play. It'll be interesting to see, though, because they are focusing on twos this season, if they can keep that momentum up.
80% win percentage in their career in doubles. I'm just going to leave that one out there. So it's one series, but hey, still very good. Next pick number 9 for the Pirates is going to be Tunloink.
Oh, another veteran player. We've seen the person with the third most goals and the most saves in the league. How about the person with the second most goals of all time in the league, or for twos specifically? Tunloink with a total of 420 goals to their name on 205 twos games. That is over 2 goals per game across a whole host of different iterations of MLE, all the way back, I believe, to MLD back in the day. So this is a veteran player, another very good, solid 19 to build a team around. It feels like Premier League. If you're drafting for Premier League, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and the person who has taken the most shots, I will add that in there as well. So makes sense. Most shots, second most goals, kind of makes a little bit of sense there.
Over a
next
millennia.
Pick. Number 10. The Ducks are taking Redline 007.
Oh, I remember Redline back in the 4-man's days. Absolutely shocking everyone with winning that one. This is a talented player. A very talented player that always seems to find a way in twos to be one of the best on field for just doing stuff. Offensively, defensively, they're always getting into the position and always in the right spot at the right time. Ducks are taking a very, very smart pick getting them up this early, because this is a player that could theoretically completely change the look of a series just by being involved in the play.
Well, that's one round down. On to the second we go. And with that, the 11th pick, the Hive are going to take Algix.
Ooh, a big pick to go alongside Taylor. This is a player who's only had one season, went to 2 different teams, but showed their capabilities on both, specifically in the 3s game mode. Went 12 for 15 in their games record. That's an 80% win rate in 3s. They're focusing on 3s this season, so maybe one of the better pickups for the Hive right now to go alongside Taylor. You've got someone in your back pocket who is capable of winning in those big, important series.
Pick number 12 is in. This one for the Demolition. They are going to take Thunder.
Oh, that's a big pick for them. Thunder, 5 seasons to their name. A 19.5 salary who has shown time and time again that they are capable of competing at the highest level. 86 for 133 in terms of games. They're in the top hundreds for a lot of stats, including wins. They're one of the best players for just pure wins in twos. It'll be interesting to see how they will mesh on the demo this season, but I predict good things for Thunder. I predict them to be a high-end player.
Absolutely. Going on to the next pick number 13, the Flames. They are going to take Frisbee.
Ooh, a new player, another rookie to the league, is focusing wholly on threes. Not a single two scrim to their name, but you know what? You might as well at this level. You might as well focus down on the game mode that is played professionally in this esport. You take on threes and you focus on it, and if you can become a great threes player, you know, everything else seems natural at that point, and Frisbee's looking to do just that. Looking pretty decent in scrims, got enough to be eligible, but we don't really know too much about them, so it'll be interesting to see. Being picked this far up the draft, before the halfway mark, are they going to make the impact that the Flames want them to, or are we going to see a couple of other picks that the Flames will go, should have picked them up instead?
Well, pick number 14 is in for the Spartans. It's going to be Kilt.
Oh, a fan favorite of mine. Love Kill. Everybody loves Kill. There's going to be a lot of support for him in chat. This man has been there, done that. First season I ever took over the Foxes was I took over a Premier League team. Never had one afterwards, but it was mainly because Kilt was on that team with a couple of other really decent players. I think Wave and Higuain Fabuleux, if you want to go all the way back to those names. And Kilt was just a blessing on your team because this is such a calm player who gets the job done, gets their head down every week, does what you ask of them with nary a question asked. They are one of the best in terms of just pure career stats. They've been here for 7 seasons, make it their 8th. Can they lead the Spartans to a championship?
We'll find out this season. Pick number 15 is in. It is the Rhinos selecting Electro ZX.
Ooh, Electro's big pick there for the Rhinos. This is a player that has focused on threes again in scrims. You're going to see that as a recurring theme because it feels like threes is definitely much more beloved in PL rather than twos because, again, it's the game mode that a lot of the players have had to grind and had to become knowledgeable of to get further into their careers and into pushing those ranks higher in ranked itself. So to have someone come in last season, play on the Rhinos, do a great job, now get the chance to try it again, but this time with a or play on the Rhinos previously, come back to the Rhinos this season after not playing last and see if they can try and find that same form that they had back then. This could be a very strong player for the Rhinos.
Well, picks number 16 is in. It is going to be the Shadow. They are selecting Jordan.
Oh, Jordan, I remember where this player used to be Master League. Terrified the life out of me back then. Now you've got to assume 19.5 salary. That's got to be justified in some way, shape or form. Formerly on the Hawks and Lightning, making the jump over to the Orange Conference alongside the Shadow this season. This is a player that can be versatile, and I think that's the important point for a lot of PL players is that you need a versatile player or two in your team, someone that can bounce between twos and threes and not lose any performance, not have necessarily a preferred mode in that sense, but have some way of being able to replicate their skills in one to the other with nary a bit of effort. That's exactly what Jordan does, so a great pickup for the Shadow.
Pick 17, the Blizzard are going to select Alfredo.
Oh, Alfredo with the sauce on this one. Love this guy. Has been doing incredible things. A threes only, not preferred. Not like there's an option for twos as like a last resort. No, there's just threes. There's a threes player, and have proven it time and time again. They've played more threes games in the last season than most other players, 35 to their name, and have been grinding their craft over the off season. Now they've gone from the Hive to the Blizzard. This could be a pickup that will warrant some knowledge, especially alongside Nit.
Absolutely. Pick number 18 for the Hurricanes, and it's going to be Payne.
There's not really much else to say on that one. The name itself should let you know what other teams are in for this season. A 19.5 salary player, prefers the game mode of threes. Again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but has shown capabilities in twos and threes, the high scoring games as they are. They've been doing a great job so far, just surprising people in scrims with very solid, very high MVPRs, pretty decent on the shooting percentage as well, top 84th percentile on the 2 scrims for that. So it could be a player to watch in 2s if they get the chance to showcase their abilities there as we look towards the next pickup.
Yeah, and it does say prefer. It doesn't say only 3, so they will dip into doubles if they need to. Pick number 19, though, is in fall, and it's going to be for the Pirates. It's going to be Fuse.
It's actually Fuzz.
Oh, that's true.
Fuzz. It's a tough one because I love this guy to death. I remember back in, I think it was season 11 or season 12, was on the Pirates for that season, was one of the best players in the league, one of the most underrated players in 2s and 3s, showcased his talents time in, time out, wasn't playing last season, but genuinely, I rate Fuzz as one of the top 10 PL players just right now. Has the capabilities of beating anyone, even with the EU ping. It doesn't really matter to him because he can get the job done whenever, wherever.
So the fact that they have fallen to 19 is kind of a bit of a surprise to you then,
A little bit. To be fair, wasn't sure he was back. So, now he's here. It's a happy surprise.
Well, pick number 20 is in. The Ducks are going to take Sully.
Ooh. Mr. Sullivan, welcome to the Ducks. An 18.5 salary, the lowest one to go yet. First one to dip below the 19 threshold, but you've got to be at this point. We're looking for the lower sal players because there's only so many players in Premier League and there's only so many high sal players that are left to be picked up, but they've earned their rate. They're 17 and 20 in 2s. They have shown their capabilities in 3s as well. They haven't played last season, but formerly on the Ducks, formerly on the Hive, go back to the Ducks for one more season, and so far, those 2 scrim stats are looking pretty juicy, if I do say so myself. 18 games played, won 72% of them. They could be a threat to any team they go up against.
They absolutely could. On to pick number 21, the Hive. They are going to select Howdy.
How do you do? A big pickup there for the Hive to go alongside Taylor and Algix. If I remember correctly. Am I getting that correct? I am.
Yes, you are.
That was from memory. I didn't even need to look at the sheet for that one. An 18.5 salary, 5 seasons to their name. They've been everywhere, across all conferences, across majority of the divisions. Back on the Hive this season after a couple of seasons hiatus. They've played 90 games in 2s, another 10 in standard. They hit their 100 mark the season before last, season 12. Now back after the 5-month off season. The first pick in the 3rd round could be a major follow-up pick for the Hive, especially alongside Taylor and Algix.
All right, pick number 22. Who's going to be joining the demolition here? Well, it's going to be Dustin.
Oh, Dustin joins the wonderful pairing of Just Tuck and Thunder. Yes, I'm having to look from this point on. I apologize. I'm going to try and get it right. Going into the demolition. This is a player that has been all over scrims for 3s and has been showing their capabilities. We didn't get to see them last season, but when they did play on the Elite previously, they played almost everything in Season 12. 35 games in 3s, 40 games in 2s, played a total of 75 in a single season. They showcased their capability to win, to have high MVPRs. They were constantly impressing on and off the field, and is a valued pickup for the demolition.
Next up, at number 23, it's the Ducks. They are picking up Bean.
Oh, Bean joins Redline and Sully for the Ducks. A 19.5 salary, making their debut to MLE. So welcome to the league. You get drafted immediately. You got to be happy with that one. A couple of games played across the board in 2s and 3s, so there's not much else to really go off of, apart from the fact that they seem to be a little bit more of the passive defensive type. They seem to be very good at sitting on the back line and holding defense against very aggressive players, because PL is one of the most aggressive leagues. Everyone is going for goals. Everyone has the mechanics to score. So if you've got good saving stats, if you've got good goals against per game stats, then maybe you are the star player in Premier League, because everyone's going to be looking to try and beat you, and not everyone will be able to do so.
The brick wall will be laid, and that is something that may need to be found in Premier League. Pick number 24, though, is in fall, and it's the Spartans, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to take Squintle.
Oh, Knuckle, Kilton, Squintle. What a lineup for the Spartans. 3 seasons to the belt for Squintle. We've seen them rocket from, I believe, CL all the way up to PL in the last few seasons. They have shown capabilities way beyond their gears and their game sense, their mechanics. They have the ability to pick up wins. They are one of the most terrifying 3s players to go up against. I would know. I was on the receiving end of a lot of the losses handed out by Squintle. They are a very, very fun player to watch as well. Very balanced on the offensive front. They know how to tee up and knock them home. So for a player to fit into that team with Knuckle and Kill, it's a perfect third player. It's a perfect third pick. And the Spartans, they're going to be sitting pretty happy on that one.
Well, pick number 25. It's the Rhinos who are going to join Pandy and Electros. Let's find out. It's going to be Valet.
Valet! Well, I would say Olay, but that's just completely wrong and the wrong language. 18 Sal player, again, one of the lowest Sals we've seen thus far, and especially in their rookie season. It's the first time they've had a chance to experience MLE, and they got thrust into the deep end with Premier League, but they've shown enough class in their positioning to be picked up first draft, first time out, third round pick. They must have a lot of expectations for this player, or at least this player must have some form of chemistry or some form of understanding with the team that he's joining to really be able to showcase his ability and feel trusted coming into this next one as our ping goes multicolored.
Number 26, the Shadow. Who are they going to get? Well, it's going to be Beast.
Oh, that is a top tier pick. Beast has been one of the most active scrimmers in both 2s and 3s, formerly playing on the Hive and then jumping to the Spartans mid-season. It's a player that has capabilities to dominate a 2s fixture. And yes, they say they can play both, but the Shadow, you're looking for someone that can knock out not just 2s fixtures, but 3s as well. You've got Prosperity 2K, you've got Jordan already. You might as well get someone that's versatile, that's capable, that's good to be a third man, but can carry the rhythm on the 2 side of things. Beast is the perfect pick for that. One of the best 2 scrimmers there is right now for Premier League. Hopefully that can continue into the season for the Shadow.
And joining Prosperity and Jordan, that's going to be a really tough team to deal with in Premier League.
Absolutely.
Going on though, pick number 27, the Blizzard are up and they are taking Noriko.
Another rookie pick. They seem to be the sort of talk of the town right now, these rookie picks. 19.5 salary that really has a focus towards 3s. And you know what? Scrims say absolutely so. One of the best tee-up players that there is with a 1.13 assists per game average. They are doing everything in their power to set up and help their teammates become just as goated as they are on the offensive front. Definitely a player to watch out for on the Blizzard this season.
98th percentile in win percentage in those scrims as well. That's incredible.
81%. It's incredible.
All right. Pick number 28, the Hurricanes are selecting Llama.
Oh, big pick for them right here. The Hurricanes. They've got Payne. They've got a lefty. You know what? Let's pick up an animal whilst we're at it. Let's get Llama, an absolute monster on the 2s front. Has been dominating 2s games, not just in scrims, but all throughout the 3 seasons they've played in MLE. They've got an 86% win rate from last season. They went, I think, 13-15 last season. That is an incredibly dominant player who has shown their craft time and time again, and averaging so far 5.49 MVPR in 2s games, 60% win rate in scrims this season so far, and with stats to back it up. They feel like they could be the biggest 2s player this league has right now, or definitely someone that can be competitive in at least the top 5 conversation.
Well, we're to the penultimate pick here for the Pirates, number 29 overall. It is going to be C-Squared.
C-Squared alongside Tunloink and Fuzz. Where have I seen this story before? Because it feels awfully familiar, if I do say so myself. C-Squared, one of the many British representatives in the league, but doing a great job to really earn that final pick. They've earned it through their 4 seasons played, formerly on the Pirates, of course, in a previous season, but it's really, you're looking at their 3 stats because that's their preferred game mode. That's what they want to be playing only, and they've shown it. A 93% win rate last season, went 14 for 15 in 3s games. They've been doing very good in scrims thus far this season, carrying the torch, picking up wins consistently. One of the best defensive team players, knows how to work the team around and keep those rotations up. Could be a very strong player alongside Tunloink and Fuzz.
Well, this is the final pick here for the Flames.
Who's it going to be?
And they are going to take...
Is it going to be Poobie?
Cheese Sandwich.
Ah, it's not Poobie. Sorry, boys. I thought it would be Poobie. It's not. But you know what? Cheese Sandwich, just as good, arguably. Maybe better. I'm going to get flack for that one. But you know what? We'll say it anyway. Cheese Sandwich has been proving themselves. On the Bears last season, it's the first time they've not been on a Blues Conference side team. Actually, wait, no, the Bears are orange, aren't they? Never mind. They've been across the board. We'll go with that instead. An 18-5 salary, plays 2s, plays 3s, has been very strong in Master League the previous seasons, of course, earning the championship for Master League last season, but definitely proved themselves as a competent player with the capabilities of carrying themselves up the rankings. And you know what? As an 18-5 salary, absolute steal.
Very, very good player. And you know what? Fallen. It's been 2 full days of drafting.
Oh, can breathe.
We can breathe. For players who did not get selected, though, fear not. Fear not. Tryouts will be held. We've talked about it all evening so far.
Yep.
Don't worry. There are still going to be tryouts. Free Agent Frenzy, Wild West Wednesday, whatever you want to call it, for Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. I don't know. That was something that Poobie said was Wild West Wednesday. That's actually...
I don't like that.
It's kind of... Well, I mean, it's kind of fitting. It makes sense. But I mean, Free Agent Frenzy, we'll call it the Free Agent Frenzy.
Yeah, that's what I think we called it last season, because it was the first time we'd introduced it. It was a wonderful thing. Yes. By the way, if you don't mind, real quick, just for me to gush a little bit about the graphics for this one, what a wonderful, wonderful job that No Compass has done on these graphics. I know a lot of people may not necessarily be too fond of them, but for considering the turnaround time, considering how amazing they look and how professional they look, No Compass has knocked it out of the park. So if you want to give that guy a little bit of love and support up in Gen right now for me, that would be absolutely wonderful if you're still sticking around. It has been a pleasure to do this with you. You want to take us out? Cheers, sir.
Well, I also want to say thank you to No Compass again.
Oh, of course.
Very, 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 very well done. The graphics looked amazing. And yeah, that's going to do it here for us this evening. A couple weeks until we get into the season. Remember, we've got our wonderful Wednesday. What is it? What is it? It's Open Net, correct?
It's Open Net on Wednesdays. Yes, at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to MLE Esports GG for that. I think we're doing a draft breakdown as well, so definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. You guys have a wonderful day, night, everything, and we will see you next time.